Procrastination and laziness are the two things that just destroys your growth in the path of life. That's what we're going to be discussing today. I'm Harsha Nagaraj. Welcome back. I wouldn't say procrastination and laziness is something that destroys your life in the very beginning, but I'd say procrastination is laziness, and laziness, it's very essential for you to grow ahead in life. Let's accept this fact. If we wouldn't have procrastinated, if we weren't lazy, we wouldn't be this active and alert as we are today. Because we procrastinated, we wasted a lot of time, we wasted a lot of energy, we invested a lot of time in other people, and yet we didn't aspire to get whatever we wished for. And as a result of which, we just branded, okay, this is how the situation is, this is how the people are, this is how everything else is. And we blocked ourselves from seeing, doing, and being who we are meant to be. As a result, what happens? You start becoming lazy. You start branding people, you start branding situations, you start branding individuals around you and the companies that you work for, and you say, okay, this is how it is. No. You fail to take action. See, laziness in yoga, we call that as alasya. Laziness can be physical laziness and mental laziness. For some people, they may be physically very active, but mentally, they're in a different phase altogether, different level altogether. Just because you're physically active sometimes doesn't mean, or most of the time doesn't mean you'll be mentally also active. You may be physically active, mentally you may be sick. But if you ask me, is it good to procrastinate? Yeah. When? Only if that leads you to understand or gain a better insight about your own self. Even I procrastinate, but only for, I give a, okay, let me tell you, I'll give you a secret. I have a specified time duration which I allot to procrastinate. I know this may sound crazy, but yeah, I mean, if you don't allot a time period, I say, okay, I'm going to procrastinate only for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes. That's it. After that time, I'm back to work. See, I'll tell you one thing. We as humans, we enjoy procrastination. We enjoy being lazy. See, I'll tell you one more thing. If we weren't lazy, we can't sleep if we are not lazy. Tiredness is what we brand our state as in order to go into sleep. It is very essential to procrastinate. It is very essential to be lazy. Why? So that we reach a state where we are active and alert. And I'll tell you one thing more. I'll tell you one more thing. Most of us stay away from doing new things just after a couple of seconds of starting it. Why? The very moment we start something new, we say no to it, we reject it. Why? It's against our nature. Of course, it's against your nature. What do you think was with you after you were born? Once you were born, nothing was in nature with you. You started to develop those habits. You started by drinking milk from your mother, and then you started drinking water, and then then you had an upgrade. Then came the cereal, then came mashed vegetables, mashed rice, and then gradually you evolved through the process. Every time you were fed, there was a dislike. Exactly right. You'd be smiling just listening to this. Your mother fed you rice, you dislike the rice. Your mother fed you something spicy, you dislike the spicy food. But years later, you're now in love with the spices. This is how it is. Why don't you apply the same principle everywhere in life? I agree, it's difficult to inculcate this habit, but that is how you're going to learn. No one can force you to do anything that you don't want. I completely agree with it. But if you want to grow through the process and actually experience the freedom that you crave for, it is very essential that you remain open to new things. If you're not open to new things and you keep rejecting things every now and then as the changes starts to happen, you can't grow. The world, you know this, the external world is changing in such rapid pace, it's very difficult for someone to keep up with it. I'll tell you something. The most difficult thing in the world is to live. Why? Because of all the advancements that's happening. So much of progress, so much of growth is happening. It's very difficult to live and keep up with the pace in which the growth is happening. The way you're bombarded with content, the way no, the exposure is happening, it's just crazy. Everything is just accessible in a click of a button these days. And that too within your palm. And in spite of all this, if you're procrastinating, search, okay, search for means for you to come out of procrastination. Search for means to come out of you to, this habit of being lazy. Yoga is not the only means. There are a lot of other means. Get to know what your nature is. Laziness can be overcome by a lot of other by doing a lot of other things, not just yoga. Find a work, find a hobby, find an activity that helps you feel alive. Just because you're physically doesn't mean yoga is for you. Yoga may definitely not be for everyone, and it is definitely not for everyone. Find that which makes you feel complete. Find that which makes you feel active and alert. If cooking is not for you, forget it. I love cooking. If you don't love cooking, don't. Don't like washing dishes, don't. Find that which makes you feel happy and do that. Move away, start a new life. Stay away from people who say what what you are doing is not important and what they think is important is important. You can't be together. You can't have this kind of mindset with people who think what you consider as the top priority is not top priority, and you spend your entire life convincing them that it is not important, it's not going to happen. Find that which you feel it's close to your heart, pursue it. Naturally, procrastination and laziness will fade away. They're gonna go away as if they never existed. There will be definitely one or the other point of time in a day where you'll procrastinate, where you'll be lazy. It's completely natural. Sometimes it's very essential also. Why? It is essential for you to rejuvenate on the inside. See, if you don't rejuvenate on the inside by being lazy, by procrastinating, you may not set bigger visions, you may not set bigger goals, ambitions for your own self. Procrastination is definitely essential if you are using it for you to grow ahead. But if you're just procrastinating over the situations, over the circumstances, over the life events that have happened to you sometime 20 years ago, or sometime when you were a kid, it's not gonna make any sense. You're just gonna make yourself more miserable. Use procrastination for you to grow ahead. Use laziness as a means for you to become active, and see how that is going to change your life. Hope this was informative. Let me know how you felt in the comments below. And if there's anything you want me to share, again, share them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.